Hello, I'm Sefid, playing games. Today I'm playing a game called Tharsis. This is a game that is... it's just been released a few days ago, I believe. I think it was the 12th of January, I believe it was released. It's a fun little game that, like XCOM, which is a game I really liked, it's got this high element of luck, and then it's about managing the luck. So it in a sense, it's the luck creates some resources that you then have to find clever ways of using. I think it'll all become pretty clear straight on. I'm not going to go through the tutorial because I've played this a few times. I think I've played about 13 games, and as you can see I've unlocked some of the characters. These are the starting standard characters and these are extra ones. I'll explain how the game mechanics work as we get into it, but for now I'll just play with the standard characters. Captain, Mechanic, Specialist and the Doctor. So let's go. I'll play it on normal for the first time, just to show how this all works, but generally I've been trying to do the hard difficulty, so that's good fun. Let's go. So the premise of this game, I'll let this play actually.
Not all of them at once. We can't turn back, but how can we go on?
Okay, so the premise of this game is that you're part of a crew that is on its way to Mars. So yeah, your new goal, survive. There was originally 6 crew, and at the start of the game 2 of them have been killed. As you can see, there's a module of the ship is now broken. So it takes 10 weeks to get to Mars, so you have to survive for 10 weeks. Each week is a turn, and each turn actions happen. As you can see here, we've got a meteoroid strike and an analyzer fail, and your crew has to repair and do activities on the ship. Now all of the mechanics sort of work together to sort of make it feel really tight and like you're under a lot of pressure, and I can show how that works in a second. But the general idea is you got to try and get as many of these guys to the end at Mars as possible. So if I ever look at one of these characters, we'll look at the Specialist, shall we? So the Specialist, this shows you your health on the side here. She's got 2 HP. This shows her stress. That is how stressed she is, and the way that works is at the end of each turn you get choices that called side projects that the characters do, and the more stressed they are, the worse your options are really. Here these dots show how many dice she's got. I'll explain how that works in a second. And these little icons show their special abilities. So for example, the Specialist, this is all about rolling dice, I should mention. The Specialist gets to re-roll dice. The Doctor gets a little special ability. If I just go in here, I can show you how this works. I'm not actually going to do this here, but every class has sort of a special ability, and the way it works is if I click this button, I'm not going to now. In fact, I'll get onto an actual repairing a module here. I think doing the Specialist here is probably what I'll do. So each module on the ship has some corresponding ability that you can do with it. For example, you build food. In this food territory, you regain dice in this life support. This is like an entertainment module where you can reduce stress on your characters. This is like a healing base, so you can heal yourself here, and this is repairing the ship and sort of engines and engineering, I guess is what you call it. And this is what is this one called? In fact, what is this one called? It is the laboratory, and this allows you to get assists, which I'll show how that works in a second. Right, so we have 4 characters and 2 problems. The way you work is you deploy a character to fix a problem. So say if I wanted to move the Doctor to there, try and fix our meteoroid strike. What I'm going to do is have the Specialist do this here, because what will happen if I get to the end of this turn and I haven't fixed this, the red thing will happen, which means that every character will lose 1 dice, and dice are quite important, as you'll see. So it's more important. Here, these 2 bars show me that I'll lose ship health. So you can see I've got 4 ship health, sorry, and I'll lose 2 when at the end of this turn if I don't fix this problem. Now that's not an emergency necessarily. You often find as you're playing this game you're running on like a buffer of maybe 1 or 2 ship points. So I'd rather fix this one because this is like a long-term problem that will cause catastrophic problems if I don't fix. So I'll deal with that now. Right. So what happens in this game? Fun little animation. I click and I roll some dice. Now, what we've seen here, the stasis. Right, that'll explain how it works. So, what happened is you can see at the top here, there's events where bad things will happen if you roll certain numbers. Stasis is the least worst of them. Stasis just means that what I can do now is I can re-roll these dice, but this one, stasis, means it won't re-roll. It's stuck on a 2, which is fine, I suppose. Usually the stasis ones are low numbers, so the way that it hurts you is that you roll a low number, and then that has to stick as a low number, and you're kind of a bit stuck on that one. Now, the special effect here that you saw, this is also a 1, but it's not stasis, and that is because I had 1 assist. 1 assist avoids this. And so what I'm going to do now is, I've got these are the 3 dice rolls that I rolled. I've got a choice now. I can either put this 6 up to repairs, so that would reduce the repair by 6, and obviously we could try to get down to 0, so it's all fixed. I could re-roll, so these 2 would re-roll, or I can put them into research projects, which I'll explain in a moment. The thing that I can do is that every room has something you put in here, so you can see if I get a 5 or higher, I can put it into the assist, and that will replenish my assists, which will avoid stasises, and there are worse than stasis. There's void and injuries. Void destroys the dice, and injury will hurt you, and you can potentially die if you get multiple injuries, depending on what your health is. Looking at this, I think what I'll probably do is put the 6 in the repair, and I think I'll re-roll that 1, see what I get. Hopefully I get a high number. 5. Now, if I want to really look at the ship here. I was just trying to do this to show off, show off how the mechanics work. But now I'm thinking that maybe I want to put this in here, and I think I'll put that in there, because then that means that if I take someone in here who only has 1 dice, they've got a really good chance of getting a high. Yeah, better of that. 5 was a good one. I could only roll better as a 6, so I'll put that in the repair. I couldn't have re-rolled and actually completed it. Even if I'd rolled a 6, I'd have had 1 left, so this is the best I can do with the specialist here. So the specialist went in there and took a load of the repair off, and that was nice. So what I could do next is I could put the doctor in there to finish this off with a 2. And so as long as the doctor doesn't roll a 1, we'd be able to repair that. That's a pretty good chance. That's 1 in 6 of that happening, so I don't have a problem with that. The next thing I'm considering doing is sending the captain in here, but then I'll send the mechanic to get some more dice. Okay. Let's see. I definitely don't want to lose the dice all, so I'm going to send my my doctor in here, and hopefully he'll roll a 2 or higher. 4's good enough for me. That'll do. Okay, so he's now completed this event, so now this is done. That's not going to be a problem for me at the end of the turn. So as we move on to some funky tunes in the background there, I need to consider what I want to do next. Now, I think I probably want to put the captain... What I could do is completely ignore this meteoroid strike and send the mechanic to get some dice. And the captain's special ability is that, if I just deploy him here, you'll see, if you roll a 5 or higher, the captain can give everybody who's in the same module as her, in fact, it's a woman, as her, +1 dice. So at the minute, if she rolled a 5 and rolled it, she'd give herself 1 dice and the mechanic 1 dice, because the mechanic's also in this module. And you can check what that is. So 2 module, 2 in that module. But if I move the captain to this one, what I could do is try and roll some assists, which are very handy, and I can also try and roll extra dice. So if I've got 3 dice to roll, and if I rolled 2 5s or 6s, that would be really good. And if I didn't roll 5 or 6, I could put them into research projects. And I'll explain how that works in a minute. Actually, I'll explain how that works now. If I look in here, I've got these research projects. So you fill in 1 of each of these dice. There's no value to the dice necessarily, like a 6 isn't better than a 1 in a research project. You just need 1 in each slot, and when you've got different ones, then that means if you got 2 dice, then we could get this, and that would give 1 dice to the whole crew, and I think that would be pretty good to do, actually. If I could do that, that would be very good. The way that food works, as well as the last real mechanic that I don't think I've explained, is that at the end of each turn, you give food to your crew, and whoever gets food gets 3 extra dice, which is pretty powerful. Right, so yeah, as I was mentioning, I think I'll put the captain in here, try and get some assists, try and get some dice. If I don't get the dice, hopefully I'll at least get this, and that's even possibly better. So if I got, like, say 3 6s, I could do some good work with that. Right, we'll see what the captain does. I'm not too worried about that one at the front. I feel like I want to get resources more than I want to do that. Right, so what's more important to me now is, do I want the assist? I'm probably going to re-roll these 2 dice, because I've got another re-roll. whatever I roll will be useful. If it's a 5 or a 6, I can put it into here. If it's 4, 3, 2, or 1, I can put it in the research project, so I'm not concerned. So long as they don't roll the same number, I'll be okay. I'm thinking actually assists might be... No, I think dice are more important. Dice are probably more important. Because in the early game, you only tend to get stasises, which aren't sort of dangerous, necessarily. So we've given... that just for rolling 1 5 there, we've added 3 dice to 3 people. As for this, I want to re-roll to get the assists, because the assists are really good. So hopefully I'll get a 5 or a 6. There's a 6, excellent. So I get the assists, stock up on 3 assists, research project, there we go. Now, what I could do now is go into here and re-roll some dice. What I'm tempted to do actually is to go in here and just knock off some of that research. The question is, what's important to me at the minute? Ship damage, I think I can handle. The mechanic's special ability, by the way, is that if he rolls a 5 or a 6, you can just add 1 health to the ship. That's pretty good. There is a small chance here, if I roll 2 dice at the same, I could get some food, and that would be pretty good. Although right now, I think just rolling anything to get a snack and give 1 dice... Oh, sorry, that's 1 dice to 1 crew. I was thinking that was to everyone. Yeah, that would be silly. I think that's like a 4 or a 5 to get to everyone. Make sure I read that properly. This might be the way to go. If I get a really high number, I'll put it into 5. If I get a number that isn't a 2, I can put it into one of these research projects and get some extra dice. If I get 2 numbers that are not that, I can get the energy boost, and that's essentially the same as getting food. So if I get 2 numbers that aren't the same, then I can that aren't a 2, I can put them in research projects. If I get a 5 or a 6, I can put it in the ship. If I get 2 numbers that are the same, I can go in here. So the worst case scenario for me right now would be like a 2 and something else. A 2 and a number. So if I roll a 2, that'd be annoying. But other than that, I think I'm okay. That is a 2. Right, so what I could do now... I think I'll just re-roll them both. If that was a higher number, I think I might even hold it or something, but... No, they're just both rubbish numbers, so let's just roll again. A 6 and a 2, it had to be a 2, didn't it? Yeah, I'll just give one to the ship. It's always painful when this happens, when you lose one. I'm tempted actually to do this. The dice hold, by the way, that's for if you say got a 6 and you can put it in the dice hold and then take it out. So it's like saving dice from rerolls. So if you got a dice and then and then you re-roll it, then it would save this dice. But yeah, it's currently not doing anything. I'll put it in there for now. Whatever. It doesn't actually do anything. But that was really unlucky. All I wanted to do was not roll a 2. So as you can see at the end of that turn, I took 2 damage.
The crew's and my own.
That's a little clip play.
But if I can't lead them, we're all dead. I need to get it together.
So now you're going to see what happens at the end of a turn. Right at the end of a turn, this is the side projects. The side projects are governed by the stress. Everyone's stress is fairly low, so these are like not bad actually. So I can choose to take 1 health off the entire crew for dice. This is actually not a bad choice, I think, because I've got a doctor on my crew. If I didn't have a doctor, I'd probably be prioritizing health a bit more. This is where luck comes into it, because if I roll to lose health and then a load of injuries pop up as part of the problems, then that's going to get a bit ugly. But what I'd be quite tempted to do is if I put dice for all crew and then I put food on the mechanic, then we've got a 4, a 3, a 5, and a 4. That's a really powerful crew. That's a crew that can get stuff done, which I think is what I need right now. Alright, so I'll put the dice on the mechanic. The mechanic and the specialist are both on 1 health, so I've got to keep an eye on that. It might be sensible for me to put the mechanic into the health bay at some point, so you can go for a repair ship, get some research projects done, and heal himself, hopefully in 1 turn. So if... so yeah, you can see this one's a good example, because this has now an injury, a void, and a stasis. So if I get a 1, the character will be injured. If I get a 2, the dice will disappear. And if I get a 3, that's a stasis. Now, I definitely need to deal with this one, because I have 2 characters who are on 1 health. I have 3 assists though, so I'm not too worried about someone dying. So I could put the specialist in here. Yeah, I want to think about this one. Now the mechanic, he can't die from meteoroid strike, so I'm considering putting him in there. The risk of putting the mechanic here, from my point of view, is that if some things pop up in these 2 things, he then can't leave. Because if you want to travel through somewhere that's damaged, you actually lose 1 health. So that means if I put him in the end here, and then an event pops up here, he can't get to the rest of the ship until that one's dealt with. So, what to do at this point? I think it would be a waste to put somebody with 5 dice into the med bay. That's something you want to do when you've got 2 or 3 dice. Let's think. How am I doing on research? I got 1 on research. I could prevent stasis. That would make my assists go further. Then my assists would only hit 1s and 2s. Sorry, these voids and injuries. I think at the minute I'm quite happy to send the mechanic in here because he's not going to hurt himself. So yeah, we'll do that. And he's got an okay chance of if he rolls well, he can do this. And if he just rolls 1 well, he can do this. And if he rolls kind of badly, I guess we're going to put them in the research projects. I don't want 2s. 2s are very bad in this situation. That's not a bad roll though. Let's have a think. Yeah, we'll 6, 5's 11, and then 15, 18. If I re-rolled, I could do that actually. I could put them all in except for the 2. Hold on a sec. I'll do this. Right, so that's an 8. So two dice rolling an 8 is actually not a bad chance of happening, and I want to re-roll 2 anyway. So yeah, I think I'll do that actually. And go for a bit of a risk. 6 and 1. Oh, unlucky, unlucky. Now I have a choice now. Would I like to upgrade the ship and put 1 in here? That might be an option. Yeah, I think I do want to do that. I think with that many dice, the mechanic can just stay in this module. Next turn, he does the same thing, repairs the ship again, hopefully. And then we're also getting some other work done. Right. So this is like, this is causing me damage over time, but it's a good place for the mechanic to be because he's not going to injure himself. Now, this one is my next most important to deal with because people will die if I don't do that. So I've only got 1 assist left. The trick here is that I went in here and used up some of my assists, which isn't great because it was only on stasises rather than on injuries, but whatever. So I'll take someone in who's actually got some good health and a good chance of actually dealing with it. I think I'm going to need some more assists to deal with that thing in the engineering bay. Ooh, 2 injuries. One of them was assisted out, but the other one did not assist out. I think I really do need better research projects. These are not useful research projects. Put the 4 in, and then I'll roll possibly again. 3 dice have a good chance of beating 8. That's like a more than a 50% chance. And the only way this guy would actually die if I rolled 3 1s, but 3 1s is so minute of a chance. I'm just gonna have to do it. Did roll another 1, which is annoying, but that is 1 short, sadly. I think this might be a case where I want to do an energy boost. No, I do definitely need to deal with this, don't I? Yeah. That's so sad. That was a very good chance to do that, but just 1 short. Right, so it'll probably be the Doctor. The Doctor could go in there and then also reduce his stress and possibly heal the Captain. That would be worthwhile. Or maybe I want to send the Doctor in here to heal the mechanic and then the specialist into the healing bay. Because that would keep everyone alive. No, that doesn't really seem sustainable to me. Okay, I think maybe I want to do this and then send the specialist in to deal with the meteoroid strike. That's, I think, probably my best option here. Come on, I need some high numbers. Here we go. Well, okay, that's not bad. So I can heal everybody. I can get this done. And then what I can do is put this in here and get an energy boost for somebody. Right, so the ship's not going to die now. And I think if I send the specialist in here, that would be pretty good. Then what I might try and do is get some assists and use this prevent stasis. So then my assists are very efficient. They're only stopping voids and injuries then. Yeah, the specialist has 4 dice and we'll get rid of this, then we can save some ship damage. Ship damage is quite important early on because it's something that you want to use, like bank as a resource that you can then use later. Right, the one downside of the specialist is that there's no class feature that's really good, so... How do I want to play this then? I think what I want to do Unfortunately, I should have actually used the research project that I had before I came in here, just in case I rolled something that was 1, 2 or 3, which I have, because this 3 now is useless. So what I'll have to do is use up one of these research projects to get the value out of this dice. Either way though, I can put these 2 in. That solves that problem. I'm going to use up a research and then put the 6 in the research. It's good if you can to get that 6 in the research sometimes, because when you roll 6 otherwise you don't want to put it in the research because it's usually more useful elsewhere. I think even though it's less efficient, I want to do this because then it's not wasted. Oh, of course it had to do that, didn't it? It had to do that. Right, the choice harvest really good though. And now this 3 is just useless. Go away 3. Make me sick. Right, what I have been doing recently actually is I've been taking, instead of the specialist, I've been taking the technician. I think is a far better class because the technician's special ability is that you can just get 2 assists. If you put a 6 in her class ability, she just gets 2 assists, and that would have been really useful there to put a 6 in there to get 2 assists. And then that would be a lot more useful, and it could have felt like I could have done the energy boost, so I don't know, whatever. But that was something else anyway. This 3 is unfortunately very sadly useless because I can't put it in the no movement damage. That's the point that I didn't mention, is you get no movement damage if you put it in this module. But we'll fix that. Right, so that's the end of this one. We've at least cleared two of the problems. This one, I can probably sit there for quite a while. I'm not really too concerned about it. Just 1 damage per turn is not that dangerous. All it means is that I have to get a 6 on Pakal, the mechanic. That's all it means, once per turn. And he's got 4 dice, so he's pretty likely to do that. Right, here we go then. I think I do need to take health. Let's have a look at the ship. I can take 2 health. 2 health for all crew in order to sacrifice 2 ship. I think it's easier to get some ship than it is to get health at the minute. That would really open some options up, considering we've got injuries on the board already. The other option is some food. I think I've got 1 food. No, I used 1 food, didn't I? I've already used 1 of the food. But what I'm going to do this turn is I'm going to put the doctor in the life support if I can. Try and get some life support going. To get some dice on him. Yeah, I'm going to take the health. The health is pretty good right now. Right. So at the minute, the doctor needs food. That's the only thing that I really want to deal with right now. The stress is pretty good, so I'm pretty happy about that. That's quite a lot of events. Right. The doctor and the captain are going to have to deal with this one. That's actually quite an awkward one to deal with, but I think I'm going to send a cow. No, I'm going to send the specialist onto this one because I only have 1 assist, and I'd rather the assist was breaking in, like stopping an injury, than stopping a void. So let's see what happens. Because I want to roll high, so I want a 5 to roll so I can use it. Now the way the life support works is if you can put any dice you want in there just to regain 2. So I'm probably going to do that. Let's have a look. That's a 5, a 4, and a 3. I think will do my job, won't it? That's just, maths is hard. 9 plus 3, yeah, that's 12. Okay, that's fine. And then I can just put a 4 in there. Yep, that works for me. So just get 2 dice on here. Or do I want to go for the choice harvest? The thing is, this dice now represents to me, it represents either 3 dice for a choice harvest, which is good, or it represents 2 dice, except I can still put some more in there. So I think I'm going to just regain the dice to put her at full. If anybody else were to come into this module and to roll some dice, they'd need to put a 4 into here to get the other 2 dice. So you can see there's 2 dice available here and 2 dice here. The first one's like a freebie. Whatever you put in there, you're going to get some. Right, so I've dealt with that. Now I need to deal with the problem of the fact that the thing's going to blow up if I don't deal with this now. Pakao is going to be the key to that. If the doctor could just roll well, that would be nice. But I think the doctor wants to chip away at this. The doctor has a lot of health, so I think the captain needs to deal with this, and then we need to deal with that, and Pakao needs to roll a high number. Let's see. There's a good chance that with some below average rolls will screw us here. Right. I'm gonna try it now. The captain can destroy this. That would reduce 1 of the ship damage. I think I'm gonna have to concede that this one is just gonna be sitting there for another turn. If I get in real trouble, I'm gonna try and get a research project to fix the ship. What you can do here is you can choose to sacrifice 1 dice to shuffle your research project so you get something else on offer. And to be quite honest, these aren't that useful, so I want to do that anyway. Let's think. This would be a situation where I'd have quite liked to get that energy boost. So if the Doctor doesn't roll very well here, I need 2 5s or a 6 and a 4. Something like that would be good. Just put them all in. Yeah, see the void? It's killed that. Right. I think I just want to re-roll this again, so I can get like 2 really high numbers. It's quite important. It's more important right now for me to try and just roll some high numbers. Haha, there goes all my dice. Okay, the captain has achieved nothing on this turn, just 3 voids. That was useless. Right. The next thing to do then. I think what I did here is I made a mistake. I should have prioritized this damage to the ship over the actual health that they used in the specialist. I was thinking too much about the future and not enough about the now. Right, okay, Doctor. Let's make it happen. What I can do is I'll try and fix this. Picard could kill himself quite easily if he just rolled a load of 1s. Because I don't have any assists. Right, Doctor, roll me some good numbers. A 6 and a 4 or a 5 and a 5. Something like that. 7, that is not enough. Right. We're going to roll this. That will save the day, I think. That could save our day. Yeah, okay. This could work, actually. I think this could work. Right, all I need Picard to do, then, is to roll a high number on this bent antenna. So he could potentially add 3, and then add 1 from his own ability, and then also remove this one. Okay. All he needs to do, then, is either clear the repair and contribute to the research project. 2 dice to this research project. Of which a 2 will die, actually. He needs to roll 5s and 1s then. Okay, so if he rolls a 6, if he rolls high, I can just repair it. If he rolls... Or I can do the ships. I need really all 6s. No, all 5s. All 5s would do it. And a single 1. Yeah, that would be perfect. If he rolled all 5, like 3 5s and a 1, that would be the perfect roll. Come on, let's see what you can do for me. Well, 6s work as well, because that repairs the ship. Think about this. I need to put that 1 in there. And then when I repair it, I re-roll the 3. That's what I'm going to do, yeah. Yeah, this 3 needs to either be a 2, a 5, or a 6 in order for me to not die here. No, it needs to be a 5. It just needs to be a 5 or a 2. Is that what I need here? Is that what I need? Yeah, I think it is. A 5 or a 2. Oh, that is not enough. That is not enough. Can I see if I can get something else? Okay, actually this might work. The special tools might be exactly what I need here. Sadly, this dice is dead now. This dice is no use, unfortunately. I'm having too many dice not work, and that's it really. Game over. Alright, so that's my first episode of Tharsis. I actually thought I'd forgotten I'd used the specialist there. I thought the specialist still had a turn to move. Unfortunately, did not. Picard did not save the day. Oh well. Now, that's Tharsis, and I recommend it because it's quite a fun way of trying to manage probability. As you've seen, my first failure in Tharsis. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.